Ashabath, Bashalawam, Zawada, Amen. In the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it. The Ha'ayim Ma'ad Asherayim Akkad, Psalm 121. Anya Harayim Ayanyim Ya O Harayim Ma'ayan Yabawa'a Isaiah Yabawa'a Mayahawa Shaisha Shamayim Wa'arataza La'a Yanathan Lamawat Regalia Yala'a Yanawam Shashamar Hana La'a Yanawam Wala'a Yashun Shashwama Yashrala Yahweh Shamaya Yahweh Tazalia I'll Yad Yin Yawamam Hashamash La'a Hakaya Wairak La'a Balayala Yahweh Yashamaya Makal Ra Yashamar Napasha Yahweh Yashamar Hawalakia Wabu'aya Ma'aitha Wa'ai Bahasham Yahweh Shah Hawada Amen.
Psalms 121, a song of degrees. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber, behold. He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore. Amen.
Shema Yashrela, hear, O Israel. Shema Yashrela, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh.
Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, Lord our God is one Lord. Amen.
Amen. Taqwa Yahweh, the Lord's Prayer. Abinawa, Shema Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwathka, Taba'ah, Batazawanka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Ka, Bashemayim, Natamanawa, Lakam, Yawum, Za, Wasalakwanawa, Kababathnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kababathanawa, Wala'ah, Habiyanawa, O, Nasayawan, Abo, Hawashinawa, Marai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatha Parath, La'aywalam, Aman.
Matthew 6:9, after this manner therefore pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Ha'asharam Atazawaf, the 10 Commandments. La'ah, Yahaya, Laka, Alahayim, Akayim, Alpanya, La'ah, Da'aisha, Laka, Haso, Wala'ah, Da'ibadam, La'ah, Dalakwaka, Shamwa, Yahawah, Alahayaka, Alashwa, Zakar, Ath, Hayawun, Hashabath, La Kodashwa, Kabad, Abyaka, Wa Amaka, La'ah, Daratazak, La'ah, Dana'ah, La'ah, Daganah, La'ah, Da'ainah, Shakur, La'ah, Dakamad, Ko, Asherah, Lara'ayaka, Amun.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under it. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon their children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. For the Lord uphold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in it is. And rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day, hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor. Amen.
Amen. Shabbat, be seated. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Nathalanawa, Par Yahagapan, Thawada Amun, La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Ath Yasha Allah. Rostam stand and face Jerusalem. Barakatha Yahweh, Hagadol, Rakhwam, Abiyah, Wanaba'ah, Aliyawan, Malak, Shal, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Wakol, Dabayim, Kayayam, Wagum, Amashiach, Mayahawa, Adawanawa, Ahabnawa, Hapalah, Yawaitazah, Yahawashai. Zakarnawa, Yahweh, Baratazawan, Anka, Yasha'ala, Izanawa, Bana, Wasap, Yasha'ala, O, Nanawa, Yum Yun, Aitha, Kayawamium, Makwadam, Baba Kusha, Shalak, Mayaka'ala, Wahataz Wadak, Alahayim, La, Maganawa, Rapanawa, Washamar, Alnawa, Ba'aikwar, Shalak, Haroka, Shal, Yahawashai, Lanawa, Lalamadnawa, Rabin, Kakama, Thabawana, Wada'aith, Shal, the Barka, Bahasham, Yahawashai, Thawada, Thamyad, Wa'iwalam, Amun. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power, King of heaven and earth and all things living. And also the anointed from Yahweh, our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor, Yahweh Shai. Remember us, Yahweh, favorably, your people Israel. Help us build and gather Israel, most high, we beg you. Right now, like the days of old, please send Michael and the righteous powers to protect us, heal us, and watch over us. Mainly send the spirit of Yahweh Shai to us, to teach us much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of thy word. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always and forever, so be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the law. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Hathawara. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us light to see. Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, O War, Lara Awath. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the ram's horn to call the people. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Koran, Ha'ayo, Lakwara, Ha'ain. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Hasheman, Zayath, Lamashah, Yasha'ala. Yeshua, be seated. All right, Shalom Yasha'Allah.
Shalom.
To the brothers and sisters that's here at the school at HYK, those listening on the teleconference line, as well as those who are watching on the live stream, I want to say happy Sabbath to everyone near and abroad on the Lord's Day. Again, this is Hayash Rala Kanash on the Hebrew, the congregation of Israel, the gathering of the nation of Israel, whose ancestors on their father's side came over here in early 1600s, cargo slave ships throughout North, Central, and South America, as well as those whose ancestors were already here prior to the slavery of the so-called Negroes, the Native American Indians, Seminole Indians, as well as those known as the Hispanics throughout Central and South America, make up the nation, or the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. And we come to draw closer to return back to the Most High by dealing with the Bible, the Old Testament, New Testament, even in the hidden books of the Apocrypha, to learn the law, statutes, and commandments, to learn the history, to learn the prophecies throughout the scriptures, to learn from the testimonies, to learn how to be better servants of the Most High. That's what we do each and every Sabbath, Most High's will, by either physically appearing or dialing in or watching online, to learn of the Most High's word, to get wisdom and understanding. So today, Revelations, the 8th and the 9th chapters, as we know, as we usually do, we'll read the Hebrew first, and then we'll go to the English with edification. All right, so we're going to start in Revelations, the 8th chapter. If you're on the email distribution, you can check your emails. Those I will. Did you get it, Khan?
I get it.
Ah, okay. Select. Forgot. So, reading on Revelations 8, where it starts off with Wakapathakwa. All right. So this is Revelations 8 and 1. Wakapathakwa, Hakawa Thum, Hashaba Yaya, Wathahaya, Dama Ma, Bashamayim, Hakatazah, Sha'ai, verse 2. Ra'ath, Shaba'aith, Hamala, Akim, Nashra, Aimadwa, Lapanya, Ha'alahayim, Waya Nathanwa, Laham, Shaba'ai, Shawa Parwath, verse 3. Waya Ba'a, Mala'ak, Akar, Waya Gash, O Hama Zabak, Wama Kathath, Zahab, Bayadwa, Watha Nathan, Lawa, Quata Wath, Hara Ba, Lathatha, Salak Lathatha, Ain, Thapowath, Ko Hakwadashim, Io, Mazabak, Hazahab, Asherah, Lapanya, Hakasa, verse 4. Waya Io, Aishun, Hakwa Tarath, Ain, Thapowath, Hakwa Dashim, Yad, Hama La'ak, Lapanya, Alahayim, verse 5. Waya Kwak, Hama La'ak, Ath, Hama Khatha, Waya Mala Ash, Ma'il, Hama Zabak, Waya Shalak Io, Ha'aratiza, Waya Haya, Kuwawath, Wara'ayim, Wabarakim, Ra'aish, verse 6. Washaba'ai, Hama La'akim, Haham Asherah, Vayadam, Shaba'aith, Hasha Waparwath, Haya Salakatha, Aithadwa, Lathakwai, verse 7. Waha Mala'ak, Hara Ashwan, Thakwai, Basha Wapar, Wayahaya, Barad, Wa'ash, Bala Walyam, Badam, Watha Shalak, Ara Tazah, Watha Shapar, Shala Wash, Yath, Ha'ai Tazab, Wakol, Yarak, Aishab, verse 8, Wahamala Ak, Hashanya, Thakwai, Basha, Wapar, Wahana, Kadam, Wath, Har, Gada Woe, Ba'ir, Ba'ash, Hashalak, O, Fawak, Hayam, Watha, Haya, Shala, Yash, Yath, Hayam, Ladum, verse 9, Wathamath, Shala, Yashyath, Ko, Napash, Hakia, Ashra, Baham, Wala, Shalak, Washala, Yashyath, Ha'anyawath, Nasha, Katha, verse 10, Wahamala, Ak, Hashala, Yash, Ya, Thakwai, Bashawa, Par, Waya, Po, Man, Hashamayim, Kawa, Kab, Gada, Wo, Ba'ai, Kalapa, Yad, Waya, Po, Ayo, Shala, Yashyath, Hana, Harwath, Wa'ayo, Ma'ai, Yanwath, Hamayim. Verse 11, Washam, Haka, Wakab, Nakwara, La'ainha, Salak, La'aina, Watha Haya, Shala Yashyath, Hamayim, Lala Aina, Warabyim, Ma Bunyam, Adam, Thamwa, Man, Hamayim, Kiyah, Mariam, Hayawa, verse 12, Wahama La'ak, Habadya, Aya, Thakwai, Hasha, Wapar, Wathakar, Shala Yashyath, Hashamash, Washala Yashyath, Haya Rak, Washala Yashyath, Hakawa Kabyam, Lama'ain, Thaka Shak, Wala Yashyath, Salak, Wala Yash, Yathum, Waha Yawum, La'a, Ya'a, Yar, Shala Yash, Yathwa, Wakan Gum, Hala Yalah, verse 13, last verse. Wa'a Ra'a, Wa'a Shamai, Mala'ak, Akad, Ma'ai Pap, Bamaryam, Hara Kwayai, Hakwa Wara, Akwa Wo, Ayo, Awaya, Laya Shabya, Ha'arataza, Masha Ar, Kwawath, Shawapar, Shala Shath, Hamala Akim, Wa'ai Thayadim, Latha Kwai. All right, so that was Revelations chapter 8 in the Hebrew. Now we'll get English. Mm-hmm. 8th chapter, Revelations. All right, so we're going to go to Revelations chapter 8, verse 1. Now, keeping in mind, this is the visions shown to John the Revelator of future events that would take place in the earth on a global scale. Some on a global scale, some just dealing with Israel. But keeping in mind that everything that is happening is centered around Israel. Everything that happens in the world, in the earth, is centered around Israel. The course of how the earth is structured right now, of who's ruling, calamities, wars, right? All of that is happening right now because of so-called Negroes and Hispanics, the Native American Indians, Mexicans, so forth and so on, because of the lack of knowledge that they have, or that we have as a people, to know who we are, to understand, to follow the Most High's law, statutes, commandments in the Bible, to be able to attain the fruits of the Spirit, right? To live righteously as a servant of God. Because we don't have that, the world is in the course that it is right now, right? Because that conspiracy that's going on, dark. So now these things, these events are happening, and they will continue to happen until the Most High in Christ and the angels return to redeem the real Israelites and put them back in their place, right? So some of these visions that we're reading is the build up to that, right? So now here in Revelations 8:1, it says, and when he had opened the seventh seal, there was a silence in heaven for about the space of half an hour. So we read in the last few chapters where they were going through the seals. It started in the 6th chapter when he opened up, right? And he went through all through 6 seals. And now we're at the 7th seal, and then it speaks about the space of a half an hour where there was just silence. There was nothing going on. It was like peace, right? It says, and I saw the 7 angels which stood before God, and to them were given 7 trumpets. So now we went before that there were 7 angels and 4 beasts with the 24 elders that were surrounding the throne of the Most High. So now these 7 angels are given 7 trumpets, and we know what we do with a trumpet, right? Now the alarm, right? So the trumpet is supposed to sound for certain vibrations or instructions or things to happen, right? In the military, they'll sound alarm for when it's time to go to war. They may sound the alarm for when it's time to come eat. Sound to just move out, right? So there's different sounds for different objectives. So now these angels are about to be given 7 trumpets for them to blow, to bring forth certain vibrations in the earth. It says, verse 3, and another angel came and stood at the altar. So now while the angels are given their 7 trumpets, the angel is now presenting himself before the altar of the Most High. It says, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar, which was before the throne, right? So it's almost similar when we read in the law on how the Most High has the Levitical priests set up that are supposed to be joined unto him doing his service. So they have a altar and they burn the incense before the Ark of the Covenant, right? They now go and take the sacrifices for the children of Israel and send these sacrifices and these prayers up to the Most High for forgiveness. Well, the angels tell us that they're the ones who present these prayers before the Lord. So now we're seeing what happens in the heaven when the prayers ascend, when the prayers are presented. They're now presented on the altar of incense, burning with the Lord. But now we read before, go back to Revelations, the 7th chapter, I believe, right? No, not the 7th chapter. I want the 6th chapter, I think. 6 and 9. So everybody that's on the teleconference line, can you hear us? Can you hear me clearly? Because I know sometimes it's they say it's a bit low, and I got the fan blowing, so I want to make sure we can hear each other. Anybody on the teleconference line, can I be heard? Maybe they stepped away. All right, so it says in Revelation 6 and 9, and when he had opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Right? So now why is this being said? Because now those spirits were the ones who were at one point still on the earth, and they received injustices, murders, killings, rapes, robbery, right? All these things happened to them while they were on the earth, and now they're in spirit world asking the Most High, how long is it going to be for judgment to come down upon those who have done this to us in the earth, right? So now we're waiting on the Most High's, waiting for those prophecies to be fulfilled, where now they can get their recompense. Yahweh Kanan.
I was going to read Psalm 10 and 8.
Khan.
Psalm chapter 10, verse 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret place that he murdered the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor.
Okay, break that down.
I was saying about kind of related to it, the injustice that these murderers go out there and murder the innocent of our people. You know, so they were, wrongfully murdered.
Right.
So they're crying out to the Most High for justice. Right.
It's similar to Jeremiah 14:2. The cry of Jerusalem's gone where? Up to the Most High. Right? All the cries of the injustices that happen, people are sighing and crying and praying to the Most High that he can come and help, that he can intervene, that he would now give real and do righteous justice to the things that's going on in the earth. Right? All right. So now that was Revelation 6, 9, and 10, and then Psalms 10 and 8. So now back to Revelations 8 again.
Oh, yeah, brother, I'll be hearing you. I'm on my cell phone now, so that's why I was on mute, but you come in loud and clear.
Come, Tawada. All right, come, Tawada. So now back in Revelations 8. It says, I read verse 4 again, and read verse 3 again. And another angel came and stood at the altar, having a golden censer, and there was given unto him much incense, that he should offer it with the prayers of all the saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. If I'm not mistaken, give me 1 second here. I think we precept this the last time. In the book of Tobit, you write down Tobit, chapter 12, verse 15. It might already be in your scriptures precept, because I remember us talking about this before. So in the Apocrypha, Tobit, chapter 12, verse 15. It says, I am Raphael, one of the 7 angels which present the prayers of the saints and which go in and out before the glory of the Holy One. So Raphael is one of those angels that's presenting these prayers on the altar before the Most High, having it burn before him, right? But it's not just a ceremony of burning. This is it's just not that they're just burning, but this is the ceremony of how the Most High is now receiving these prayers, and then he's going to act upon them based on the people or the person, right? Because we know the Most High has respect of nations, but not respect of persons. Right? There's a nation that he has respect and love and adoration for over all the rest. But within the nation, it's going to be based upon how you go and do according to his will on how he's going to deal with you, right? So now back in Revelations 8 and 4 now. It says, and the smoke of the incense which came with the prayers of the saints ascended up before heaven, before Yahweh, out of the angel's hand. So as he's presented, the smoke is now in front of the Most High, right? So now these prayers are coming up before the Lord. And we know that over time, when we look in the past, when Israel prayed to the Most High, all in unison, when we were down and weak, I would hear our prayers and set things in motion, right? And set courses of action in motion for us to be redeemed, right? So now it says in verse 5, and the angel took the censer and filled it with the fire of the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightning and an earthquake. So now it's like he's in the heaven. And now these prayers are presented before the Most High. And we just read what Israel, or what our remain on the earth, or those who still who are in the spirit world, what they're petitioning the Most High for: revenge, justice. How long is it going to be for this to take place? Well, now here the prayers being presented. And then after that, the angel goes and takes, it says, the fire off the altar and then casts it down into the earth. Right? So now this is symbolic of now the Lord is starting to bring plagues, or he's bringing his judgment upon the earth. Right? Woe be to the inhabitants of the earth. That's why there's so much turmoil and calamity happening all around the earth. Earthquakes over here, tornadoes over here, tsunamis over here, plagues and pestilence over here, war over here, right? Insurrection over here. There's so many different calamities that's happening because the Most High has now cast this vibration down into the earth. So this one angel cast this down to the earth, which is symbolic of a lot of destruction and calamity and woe, right? Now it says, and the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. So now once that one angel did that, now it's time for these seven angels to sound off, which is going to be different periods of different times and events that happen throughout the earth as far as for widespread destruction, right? Or different specific events that we can hone in on. Now it says, verse 7, the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass burnt up, right? So that when the first angel sounded and he blew his trumpet, then all these different things started to happen. The hail and fire mingled with blood, symbolizing death, got cast down to the earth, right? Now, keeping in mind, I forget what other I don't know if it's in Revelations, or it's almost symbolic to what you read in the Gospels, how the Yahushua will give you a parable and go through a whole bunch of sequence of events, but later on he'll break it down somewhere else. Does the same thing in Daniel's with the goat. He'll break down this symbolism of the goat, but then expound on it a bit later on. So in your notes, you can write down that what we read about these seven angels parallels to the same thing that you read about in Revelation, the 16th chapter, right? So let's go to Revelation 16. Revelation 16 and 1. Kahan Nabiyah, if you can read that.
Everybody have it? Revelation chapter 16, verse 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. Right.
So now it's the same thing. You blew the trumpet. Now you got to pour out your vials. Right. It's like when you pour a potion, somebody has a vial and it pours and all of a sudden it bubbles up and crazy stuff starts happening. Now these angels have to go and symbolically do that over the earth, but it's setting in motion different things. Verse 2.
And the first went.
And the first angel went, that we just read in verse 7 of chapter 8. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. So now it's going to go a little bit deeper. Read.
And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image.
Right. So now this is specifically speaking about those who receive the mark of the beast. Right? Those who receive the mark of the beast, those men receive noisome and grievous sores, plagues, calamities. This is what now will happen in the earth with these people who chose to receive the mark of the beast. What's the mark of the beast?
Being part of this world, live in this world.
Being part of this world, live in this world. Go a little bit deeper.
Like God said, my people come out of this world.
Come out of this world. What's in this world? How do we, when you come into the world, what do you receive?
Hell.
Hell. Anybody else?
Gifts.
Gifts.
Knowledge.
There you go.
Position.
There you go. Stay right there. The third one. You receive what?
Knowledge.
There you go. Knowledge. Information. Right? Because we read a few weeks ago when Kahan Nabayah did Revelation, the 7th chapter, he went into where it says that they had to seal the saints or seal the servants of God in their foreheads, right? You had to be sealed in their foreheads. How you receive, or how are you sealed in your foreheads? You know what? This knowledge. So now these 144,000 have to be taught. This information has to be given unto them. Now understanding has to be received so they can seal it in their foreheads. When you don't have the Most High's knowledge, you have whose knowledge? The world, Satan, the devil, right? That's the knowledge that you have, right? So, whole list, go to Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, just to parallel the two. Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. Because remember, it says the mark of the beast, right? Some people used to, back in the day when I used to watch the old Illuminati thing, they used to always have just the 666 forehead, right? Or some people to speak about the chip, right? You get the chip in your hand. It says you got to have the mark of the beast and with your right hand and everything, right? We'll touch on it lightly. So Ezekiel 9:4. Gabar, if you could read that.
Everybody say "Con" when they got that. All right, Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of their side, and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
So he says you're supposed to do what with the mark? Put it on their foreheads. That we read a few weeks ago in Revelations, where they had to be sealed in their foreheads. So this mark or the sealing is dealing with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Most High. It comes back to the commandments, right? What comes back to the testimony, the history, the prophecies, all of that now you have to receive as a mark in your forehead. It says your foreheads because what's in your foreheads?
Your brain. Your
brain, which houses the spirit, right? Your spirit has to be marked with the Most High's word. Now, if you don't have the Most High's word, you have who? The mark of the beast, where you've received and followed and swore and uphold all of what they stand for. Right? That's the difference. Either you got the mark of the Most High or you got the mark of the beast. You pick. That's it. You can't serve two masters. That's why the Lord says, this day I set before you life and death. Right? The life was in the laws and the commandments. Death is you chose not to. You wanted to go follow everyone else. All right? So now, that's Ezekiel 9 and 4. Now go back to Revelation 16 and 2. So it says, I'll wait a couple seconds. So make sure when we flipping, see if you can have a extra pen or a piece of paper so that when we say whole lat, you could just insert something in there so you can quickly go back to it. So now in Revelations 16 and 2, Kahan read, it says, and the first angel and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. So whoever follows their knowledge, their customs, their doctrine, their laws, and worship his image. What does it mean when we talk about worshiping his image? Say again? What he stands for. Okay. What else? There is a literal and a figurative meaning to this. You touched on the figurative. When you worship or follow what he stands for, what's the literal meaning of it? You said that's the first part. You said that already. The image of the beast. Who is the beast? Esau, Edom. Say again, brother. Exactly. The images that they set up of Yahushua, the images that they set up of the Most High, the images that they set up of the holy people. So the image, most people worship and acknowledge that. Those who do and uphold his mark, this vial is poured out unto you, right? This pile is going to be very noisome and grievous. You're going to have a lot of calamities that was being spread across to these individuals, some of the nations and some of our people, right? I would say the majority of the nations and some of our people, right? So now keep in mind, Khan.
Sorry, just to backtrack for verse 3 about the prayers of the saints.
Khan.
Just add in your notes, 2 Ezra chapter 4 and verse 35.
So that was for verse 3, dealing with the prayers. To add 2 Ezra verse 4, chapter 4. It's a lot. 2 Ezra chapter 4 and verse 35. Which goes into the same aligns with the people asking about how long their circumstance or the situation was going to be before justice would intervene or the Most High would intervene.
Can we briefly
recap the scriptures?
Again?
The one that he just called?
Yeah, and then he was saying that linked up with something, didn't he?
This links up with Revelations 8 and 3.
Okay, what was it?
2 Ezra 4 and 35. Links up with Revelations 8 and 3.
First link on the top there.
Khan. So now, Khan.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom, Mark.
Wow, Bob here.
Shalom.
Wasn't that what you just finished saying when the brother was on the phone? Wouldn't that be the same thing as the question he asked was being idols?
So the last part, the question of the idols.
Yeah, what the brother that said on the phone when he gave the answer.
Oh, about the image, about Caesar Borgia, about Caesar Borgia.
As far as the image that you said about the images of Esau and whatnot.
Right.
About the question answered, right?
Uh-huh.
The brother answered it as far as the images, right?
Right.
Wouldn't that also be like idols?
Of course they would be idols because they're not the true.
Make sure.
Right.
Make sure.
You could say you could say that they're idols, but to be more concrete and specific, we hone in on like Caesar Borgia, because that is what's been plastered and that's what's been spread throughout the whole earth. That's the image that a lot of people, even us, when we were growing up, that image is in the houses. That's in my mom's house right now, that image. And it's sacred to people, especially throughout the Northern Kingdom. Sacred, that image. Right?
Yeah, because when they
Like it's more privileged even now.
Khan.
yeah, because when they came over.
True, but there's still there's a lot more that seems to go to stay where they're at as far as worshiping these idols and this image of Caesar Borgia, of Christ.
Khan.
Of what I run into, I'll be able to run into, you know?
Khan.
1600, they came with that image and they forced a lot of our people to worship that image, to accept that image of Jesus Christ.
Right.
That's why a lot of people are deceived.
Right.
Back then. Otherwise, I guess they probably killed them.
Right.
They didn't worship it.
Khan. And it's more so Caesar Borgia than even the image of the Most High, because that is the image. Not to say that they don't have false images of the Most High or David or Solomon or monumental to push that agenda of what they want, because there's a conspiracy around the image, right? So now back in Revelation 16, and like I said, Revelation 16 parallels to what we're reading in Revelations 8 and 9. However, what I don't want to do is to go through in depth every one of them, and then when we get to Revelation 16, we have nothing to go because we've gone through them all. So I want to touch on a few of the angels, but not all of them, right? We'll read what the parallel that we see in both chapters, but then when we get to certain angels, then we'll hone in on those. All right. I know specifically, I think the 5th and 6th, we're definitely gonna go in depth on, and maybe the others, I'm not sure. But now let's go back. Make sure you hold something in Revelation 16 as we go back to Revelations 8. Come. So now going back to Revelations 8 again. It's a lot. 8 and 7 again. It says, and the first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And the third part of trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. So the Most High had, at this time, certain plagues that happened specifically to the people who are following after the image of the beast and worshiping his policies. Verse 8. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood, right? So this angel sounded, and another different course of events of calamities was poured out into the earth. You read it in Revelation 16 and 3. It says, and the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, so died in the sea, right? So we now know we can look at the literal as far as for dead people, but again, when we're dealing with information and knowledge, a lot of people that died lost the knowledge of the Most High, even specifically us. We fell away for a time, and we were not a living soul before the Lord, right? When we came over into the Americas in the 1400s, when we landed and they started to teach us their knowledge, we lost who we were, right? This is the revival now. This is now how we've come back after these things have happened or transpired. But in the beginning, we all died off. We all died away, right? So these different types of events had to happen. Remember, even during Paul's time when he was in Thessalonica, he told them that Israel can't come back to salvation. They can't rise up until a falling away first must happen. You can write that down in 2 Thessalonians. I think it's the the 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, where it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. The falling away first was that Israel had to now go into a real deep captivity. This captivity was deeper than the rest because this is where we lost the knowledge of the Most High. We lost our identity. We lost our customs. We lost the land. We lost everything, right? So the falling away first happened. And then it says, and then the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Keep that thought. We'll come back to that at a later point. We'll come back to that verse for another precept later on. But when you don't have the Most High knowledge, you're like a dead man, right? So don't go too deep in it because we want to save and reserve some for when we get to those chapters.
A quick reference to, like out of all the 12 tribes of Israel, like our homeland is Jerusalem. For everybody else, the other 10 tribes, because Gad is here, but the other tribes, those tribes, like they said, the blacks can't go back to their homeland. With all our homelands, 12 tribes is Jerusalem. So like Puerto Rico, I went to Puerto Rico, Dominican, I went to Dominican, Levi's go back to Haiti, Jamaica go back to Jamaica, but the so-called black man woman, we found them here.
Right.
With the so-called tribe of Gad. So this is that homeland for them reservations, but we both take and get captivity, and we the main two is getting killed in this country. The other tribes are too, but the main two getting killed is North American Indian Gad, and the so-called black people.
I mean, I would say all of us, but
Even Gad is allowed to gather. Even Gad allowed to gather because they gave them a little piece of the land, so they got their own reservation. Mm-hmm. We ain't got nowhere to go.
Well, I would say this as you know, you look at all the rest of the tribes, they have a pseudo place that they can say this is theirs, right? Pseudo,
which really ain't theirs.
Which really is that's really not their place of rest, right? Judah is the head tribe, right? All of the tribes look to Judah regardless of what really is going on. Everyone watches and follows in the footsteps to a certain degree of what is going on with Judah. So by Judah not having a place right now that you can say, yeah, Ephraim could say, yeah, I'm going home, I'm going to Puerto Rico. Simeon could say, yeah, I'm going home, I'm going to Dominican Republic, right? Issachar could say, yeah, I'm going home, I'm going to Mexico, I'm going back to my homeland, right? But that's really realistically not their homeland, but they don't know no better yet, right? But still, all of them look to Judah subconsciously as far as for whether it be the state of affairs that's going on in our community, because all the tribes are here. And at some point, they're also going to receive some of those effects too, right? Issachar receive them, Simeon receive them, because we're all in the same ghettos, right? We're all pushed in corners. So when they see us, even the nations, some of these so-called sympathetic nations, when they see what's going on with us, what do? They latch on and want to come and protest with us. That's not right. This, that, and the third. Everyone's looking at Judah being the head tribe to see what the real state of affairs is. So when the Most High, as he said, Judah is his lawgiver, the Most High set up Judah to be the first ones to go out there to start on a boat to go start bringing his word back. They're the ones that's set up. So even though the Judahites, don't have a place that they can right now come and say they're going home, right? They're not going, they don't look at Africa as their home. They don't have a specific spot. All of them who are in this Egyptology, going to Egypt to say they're living in Egypt, right? They're not doing that. They may say Ghana or they may say Nigeria, but there isn't one place that they can say that that's our home, because you have various different Hamitic tribes that's there, and they're not all the same, but they don't all like each other. Right? So why do you pick Egypt over Somalia? Why do you pick this one over Sudan and this one over that one? Aren't they the same? But that's another topic. But as far as for your point in saying Judah doesn't have a home of refuge right now, that's true. Right? The Lord is the Most High had, when you look at it, it's beautifully set up that all the rest of them can, but Judah can't, and Judah's the head tribe. So where the head goes, in a sense, when Yahushua comes back, when the head goes, everybody else is going to follow. All that other stuff is going to be gone. And that's why spiritually right now, those who are Ephraim, those who are Simeon, those who are Issachar, those who are Naphtali, those who are all these other different tribes, when they come into the truth, that kind of goes to the back burner. Now we all know that Israel is our home. We all now come to that understanding that Jerusalem, which is above, is free. That's the mother of us all. That's our motherland. We now understand that. But in the world, is these other little places of refuge for right now until they come to the truth or judgment comes and befalls them. Y'all connect?
Yeah, because even if some of us.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second, brother. Y'all was making a comment.
Yeah, because even if some of us decide to go back to those countries, right? And Esau has a problem with you and so he go to your country and bring you here.
Yeah.
For trial or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because he has the authority to do that.
Right.
So you're gonna try to seek refuge there, Esau gonna come and get you.
Right. Esau, the thing with Edom and Esau and their power, right? Even though these tribes have their so-called pseudo homes, control over it. He still has power over it. Because when you look at what things that's going on in Venezuela and other countries, they have the power to put sanctions and embargoes and tariffs and things on these countries, where they can control their food, their money, all of that, their business, right? They can control that. Look at Manessa. I went when my daughter saw the what do you call it? Fast and Furious. Faded the Fuse, yeah, whatever it's called.
So many of them. It's like
Right,
10 of them.
right. But in the movie, when you watch it, it's still a representation of what is current. When you look at the cars, all the cars is the old classic cars, the old classic Fords and everything else. And they just swap parts. And they were showing the movie how they took a jet engine and put it into a car to get the car working. Why? Because the U.S. stopped that pipeline for them getting any of new technology. Cell phones and the things that we have, they didn't have that type stuff. Now that they kind of lifted it, now they're trying to get the arts and they're trying to see about different, automobiles and different cell phone companies and everything starting to go down there. And that all stems right from here. So even though they have that, it's still under the control of here.
It's so true. It's like you see people in a large or major city that's very big commercially. You just want something different. You go to a smaller city and you talk to the folks. They're like, "What's going on here?" And like, "Where are you coming from?" You tell them the city you're from, the place you're from. They're like, "Why are you hanging out here? We're trying to go where you're at."
Mm-hmm.
And with the tribes in the Caribbean and Central South America, you get that same response. It's like, "Why are you down here?" Like, we're trying to get access to up there. That's where all the opportunity is. That's like our lifeline to do things down here.
Right, and don't get me wrong. Every one of those tribes think that they'll stand in solidarity to that place. Jamaica's the best place on earth. San Juan is the best place on earth, right? Santo Domingo is the best place on the right. Everyone is going to,
Yet they'll be in America.
Yet they over here because they're looking to gain, opportunity and resource, whatever to help build. But they'll say, anyway, in the flat, they'll stand in solidarity with that being their best place. But in all actuality, they still don't even control it. They don't really have their own to stand alone. Even Haiti, right? When Haiti, they won the war, look what happened to them. They said, all right, we can't beat you right now. We'll get you another way, right? They cut the pipeline over there, left them out there isolated by themselves. Nobody messed with them. And what happened? It put them into a financial rut because of what they did, the sanctions that they set up, right? This goes into when you read in Revelation 13 about the mark of the beast. And if you don't have it, you can't buy or sell. That buying and selling, that trade, that commerce, that exchange is heavy, right? That's what we all did. Even when you look back in ancient times, David was able to go and do trading with the Hamites. I'll give you these resources, you give me wood. Okay, that's cool. And we did an exchange. We were able to thrive and survive in peacetime amongst living. But when that's cut off, when you just left with that and you need that food, you need that gas or that oil, then you kind of isolate and then it becomes a rut. And then now you're, your country or your city's in turmoil. All right. So now, but we'll touch on that in another class. I wanted to do that the other day, but we'll touch on that next time. So now let's go back to, where were we? Revelations 8. And I read verse 8. And I think I was going to Revelation 16. Yeah, I read verse 3. So Revelations 8 and 8 links with Revelations 18 and 3. Like I said, I don't want to go too deep into each one because I want to reserve some conversation and edification for when we get to that, because it's the same thing. Revelations 8 and 8 links with Revelations 18 and 3. 8 and 9 now. Second Thessalonians 2 and 3. As far as I went there to show the falling away first and how all Israel, when you don't have the knowledge of the Most High, it's like you're dead. That linked it with Revelations 18 and 3. So like not 18 and 3, 16 and 3. So why? I used to be caught me, right? 16, not 18, but 16. I had 18 on my page, but it's 16 and 3. Right. So now back in Revelations 18 and verse 9 now. It says, "In the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed." Right? So this is still dealing with the second angel, right? Revelations 8 and 9. It says, "The third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were bitter." Right? So now you link this with verse 4 in Revelation 16. In Revelation 16 and 4, it says, "And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood." Right? Saying the same thing, that it was sent upon the rivers and the waters when you read it in the 8th chapter. But then it goes a little further. It says, "And I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art and was and shall be, because thou hast judged thus. For they have shed the blood of the saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy." Right? So this is the day, is the nations, primarily Edom. "And I heard another out of the altar say, Even so, Lord, power almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments." Right? So this is now the beginning, the symbolism of the beginning of them now starting to get their judgments. The Most High has put that wormwood. Anybody never know what wormwood is? Never heard of wormwood?
I heard of it. I don't know what it is. You look it up.
Yeah, look it up. See what it says in the dictionary here. I have a story. I think I told it before. Talking with Elder Zaquan about it last night. Let's see what they describe it in the dictionary. Yeah.
Telling me to see plants.
Mm-hmm. And the dictionary says any of several aromatic plants of the genus Artemisia, native to Europe, yielding a bitter extract used in making absinthe and flavoring certain wines. Something harsh and embittering, right? Interesting that it says native to Europe, right? Right? So now, right, as we go further, we'll see this is a key into how the Most High is now joining this together. But now I'm afraid before I go on, let me look at the Bible dictionary and see what it says. It said it mentioned absinthe in the dictionary. Come.
Yeah, it was real popular in London during like the opium days in the 1800s.
Oh, you got the Bible dictionary. That's what you're looking up now? Kabar?
I'm just making it.
No, it's a lot Kabar, because I see he was like said
Yeah,
plant.
it told me to go to plants.
Mm-hmm.
Down the plant section, you got plants of the Bible. I'm just going to look for one.
Yeah, they would get it poured into a cube and then drip down until they drink the water.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. That's part of my story. Yeah, I think when you read it, it just gives you the precepts for wormwood, but it doesn't go into it. So yes, it's a bitter plant, described even in other cases as even poisonous, right? We have verse 11 in Revelations, the 8th chapter. So a few years ago now, and I know I've told this story at least once or twice. A few years ago, when I was over in Europe, it is a popular drink in Europe. I've been to different European countries, and they have this absinthe, which contains wormwood in it. Now, the wormwood is very bitter, and it has, from what I've seen and personally experienced, some kind of altering effects to a person's mind state, right? So one of my coworkers, colleagues, that when I went over there, he was hell bent on getting this absinthe, trying it out, and bringing back cases of it. I had no idea what the heck it was. I just knew it was to be another shot. So like Kahan Abiyah is talking about, it is like a little something like a hallucinogenic, but they have this whole thing where they, like you said, they get a decorative spoon or knife or blade that has all different kind of things on it, and then they'll take a sugar cube and then light it on fire, and the sugar cube melts down into the absinthe, and the absinthe itself lights up, and then you're supposed to blow it and drink it. Well, this absinthe is like the scriptures say, is bitter as hell, and it tasted like poison. I was messed up for 2 days behind that one shot, literally 2 days. It was a personal experience for me that I never, ever, and anybody who I speak to about it, I said, don't ever try it, right? Specifically the ones from Europe. There's absinthe in the United States that don't have wormwood. I believe it's illegal in the United States to have it. Over there, it's prevalent, and they drink it with it. The story goes, I think you'll read about certain European artists addicted to it or drank a lot of it. Vincent Van Gogh cut off his ear under the influence of this absinthe that had this wormwood. I forget the other artist. He also did something crazy when I was looking it up. Right? Huh? Yeah, it's just not like if you drink alcohol and you get drunk and you just, your inhibitions are down and you become invincible or whatever. This one has other effects where it kind of like can, if you drink a lot of it. One of the sins, if you drink 3 shots of it, if you look it up online, if you drink 3 glasses of this, you'll see the green fairy. That's what it says. You'll see. Hold on 1 second, brother. When you look at the bottle of absinthe, when you see it, that's what they have on the bottle. Usually, it's a green fairy. When I walk through the different European cities and they have shops that sell alcohol and they sell absinthe, they'll have the same green fairy on the thing, right? So this is after the fact. When I found out about it, I was like, what the hell? I had one and that's all I needed was one, and I said nah. Right, but now understanding that and taking that into consideration as far as for the literal thing of it, this wormwood now is like put into the waters that everybody's drinking. So now everyone is now going to start drinking this type of philosophy, right? Because remember, hold this, go to Revelations. Hold your comment on the phone, brother.
Okay, Tom.
Go to Revelations. Give me 1 second. Where's my sword? My other sword. Here we go. Revelations 18 and 3. In Revelations 18 and 3, it says, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies." So when it says they drunk of the wine of her fornication, it's not talking about them actually just drinking wine, right? It's a spiritual connotation that they've accepted and adopted their philosophies, their customs, their ways. And after a while, the nations will go mad. After a while, they start to turn on each other. They start to war against each other, rob each other, invade each other, do all these different things because all of them now have this spirit in them after drinking that wine. Well, this wormwood now is being put into their waters, and that's what we normally drink for. That's the number one source for our nourishment, is just regular water. But it's been put out there into all the waters in the river. So when you go out there for knowledge or information, you have it all around you. It's everywhere, different kinds, whether it's this religion, this doctrine, this theology, this ideology, all this is all spread out in the earth, and it's poisonous. It will harm you. It will destroy you, right? That's why it tells you, was it Micah 2 and 10? Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. It will destroy you. That's like this thing here. This wormwood is meant to go out there and pollute and to destroy and to cause havoc and wreak havoc in the earth. That's the vibration that the Lord is putting out there. Now, this is the setup to other things that's coming afterwards. But the Most High is doing this to now cause another vibration in the earth that's going to lead up to Israel's redemption.
No, just like with Hosea 4 and 6 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So he said that it would destroy you. That knowledge of that.
Exactly.
The wicked knowledge would just destroy you.
That knowledge is poisonous. Right? It's insatiable, but it's poisonous. Right?
That girl is poor.
Yeah, girl is poor. That's a good line. You could use that because remember, even in the scriptures, knowledge is attributed to wisdom. I mean, a woman is attributed to wisdom. So we go seek after that woman who has the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High. But in other cases, it's the wisdom of the nations. Of the same type, feminine spirit is the knowledge of the nations. So like you said, that girl is poison. That girl is wormwood. that girl is bitter. I don't want to deal with her, right? But she allures herself where it looks like I want to go and try that. I want to go and drink that knowledge. I want to go and see how it is. And you drink it and it'll jack you up. So that's what now this angel's job is, to put this vibration out there. Remember, the Most High is in control of all of this. He's in control of all of this. If you remember back to the kings, was it Ahab, when the Lord said who's going to go down and deceive Ahab? Set that up. It wasn't Satan. That the Most High said, listen, I gotta have somebody go down there because he's wicked as hell. I need to go down there and have him deceive to cause these course of events to happen. Right? These courses of events need to happen. So these things need to transpire. What angel is going to go and do this for me? And the angel said, yeah, I'll go, I'll do it, and be a lion spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. That's what was said, right? So none of this is not happening that the Most High is unaware of, and he's not knowing that these things are happening. These angels was given the trumpets and the vials to pour out in the earth, right? This all started where the saints is praying to the Lord. When are you going to judge? When are you going to avenge our blood on the earth? When are you going to come and do these things to help us, to clear our name, right? Our children have been killed. Our forefathers have been killed. So now this is setting the stage, right? The nations, primarily Edom, has come to its peak where the Lord is now starting to shuffle the pieces together. Kahan Nabiyah.
Just the link of what you're reading in verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
Oh, Salak, brother, who was that? Yeah, make your comment, brother.
Warren Wolf, drink talking about?
Yeah.
That was still Amy Whitehouse. What's her name?
Amy Whitehouse. That's what she was on too.
She was drinking that a lot. Yeah, she was an alcoholic. That's what killed her parents.
I didn't know she was on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was drinking. He was drinking like fruit. That's good help.
Man. Kahan Nabiyah.
You're right about that.
Deuteronomy 29 is to show that Most High already told us. Going back to the law. Deuteronomy 29, 18 and 20. The whole chapter is good. So that's going to read 18 and 20, what we're talking about. Deuteronomy 29 and 18, it says, lest there should be among you a man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turneth away this day from the Lord our God, or Yahweh our power, to go and serve the gods of these nations, lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood. And it shall come to pass, when he heareth the words of this curse, that he blesseth himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. Yahweh will not spare him, but then the anger of Yahweh and his jealousy shall swoop against that man, and all the curses that are written in his book shall lie upon him, and Yahweh shall blot out his name from under heaven. So he was telling us back then, it's the same purpose right now in Revelation.
Yep.
So it's funny how things you read at the end, it's already beginning.
Khan. Quiet.
And also, when we look at it, the generation in the past, as the point is thinking of, they were living the revelation that we reading here. It's a cause of event that's happening that we live in now, including those that have the coming future.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to link up the wormwood with John 7:38.
So I knew that because he's way in the back. So he just made a comment to say that the events that the prophets in the past were living through or seeing is what the events in the past that they saw in visions and the Most High gave them the word on is what we're living through right now or have gone through in these last days, right? And I think I made a comment on it last night or this evening in the class that a lot of times people get the misconception of living in Revelations, where Revelations is prophetic, right? It's prophetic, as well as Ezekiel was prophetic, Jeremiah was prophetic, Isaiah was prophetic, Ezra was prophetic. All of these, if Daniel was prophetic, they prophesied. Genesis was prophetic. They prophesied of the same events. So Ezra saw the same things that John saw, just differently, right? Joel saw the same thing. Daniel saw the same thing. Jeremiah saw the same thing, but they now just were in different periods, living in different times. So that's why I said the Bible has a certain synergy that no one is going to go outside of. So this is now going to link up with the same things that we've read before in other chapters, even in the Old Testament or the Apocrypha. Be quiet.
And just linking up John 7:38.
So John 7:38.
I wasn't going to read it.
Okay, no, you can just write down.
Where it says, those who believe in me, as the scripture that has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Mm-hmm.
So when we read in Revelation 8 and 11, it's mentioned that the water now, when the star strike it, it turns to a mixture of.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at the scripture, which is supposed to be the rivers of life, when you understand it and you apply it and you follow it the way you're supposed to, then you should become wise and you should have life in you. But now when it says water became wormwood, it became wormwood, which is the water of life. Now the doctrine of the Most High being in part corrupted by the teachers of this world, which taught people wrongfully about that about the doctrine of the Most High. So now it became wormwood, and many men did. It says many men died of the water because they were made bitter. So now the scripture has been made corrupt by those people, by their teaching, not the scripture itself, but their doctrine and their false teaching made the doctrine of the Most High bitter.
Right.
Whereas it was supposed to be living water, now it has become bitter.
Right. So that's where you get your policies and religions and other different things that's there, that when people drink that, they get poisonous and die. That's why Yahushua told the woman at the well, if you drink this water, you'll never thirst again.
Right.
Right? He wasn't talking about actual water from the well. He was speaking about the knowledge that he was going to be able to give them. Right? So now that knowledge is what has been turned into bitter for a lot of people. Remember in Isaiah, I think it's 29, even the Spirit of the Most High had already set this up. Isaiah 29. Actually, 28:13. 28:13. Isaiah 28:13 says, but the word of the Lord, Salak, you got it, Patah? Okay. Right? So even those who attempt, which is in Jerusalem. So it's primarily speaking to go do the things that's not according to the law. And with hell are we at agreement, meaning you made Send your friend. I'm cool with him. I'm in agreement with him. I can walk side by side with him, right? When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. So when it's spoken about the last days of destruction that's coming, that ain't gonna happen to us. That's your dots and your interpretation or your this, right? You said it's not going to come upon us, for we have made lies our refuge. Now the wording is very poetic because no one says I'm going to make this lie my safe haven. But that's what they're doing by saying they're into that doctrine, which a lie is false. But that's their refuge. So for us who read the scriptures and who have understanding, we see what they're doing now. We understand what it is that they're saying literally without them having to say it. We will make lies our refuge, and under falsehood we have hid ourselves, right? So we stand behind Egyptology. We stand behind this doctrine. We stand behind this religion, right? They have made the lie or the falsehood of these doctrines and philosophies their safe haven, their salvation. Come. Right, and as you read on down, it goes into the Most High's judgment according to those sayings, right? That they still are going to be judged. That refuge ain't going to save them, right? In that day. So now that was Isaiah 28, verse 13. I read down to verse. So now let's go back to Revelations 8 and 12. It says, and the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. Right? So now, let's go to Joel. Joel, the second chapter. So again, like I just mentioned, a lot of the same things, different prophets saw the same things, prophesied about the same things, but it was just spoken differently, right? The wordings have the same remnants and bits of the same words, but it's just expounded upon sometimes a bit different. So now we're going to go to Joel chapter 2. I'm going to start at 27. 2:27. Right. So now in Joel 2 and 27, shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord your God, and none else, and my people shall never be ashamed. Right? So this is what the Most High is again stating the claim of who he is for. He has respect unto Israel. We read about the prayers of these saints, asking and petitioning the Most High, when is it that he's going to come and judge them? If we're your people, judge them. Remember Ezra in second Ezra asked the same thing. If the earth be for our parts, why do we not hold an inheritance? When are you going to come and give us our due? Right? Ezra questioned and asked the same thing. So the Lord is stating it, but now check out the wording. Remember what we just read in Revelations with the four angels thus far. It says in Joel 2:28, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. So that's what's happening right now. A portion of Israel is awakening, right? The Most High has poured his spirit on us, meaning we've come out of the world and now we've come back into the truth, We know who we are. We receive our identity. We understand the laws, statutes, commandments. We understand our history. We understand the prophecies. And the Most High Spirit can touch each different ways with different gifts to perform different duties. Some will prophesy. Some will dream. Some will see visions, right? This happens to different individuals that the Lord chooses to pour out his Spirit on. Now, check this out. Verse 30, and I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. So we have already been reading about these other angels who've now cast out their vials, where blood is now in the waters, wormwood is in the waters, hail is in the water. All these things have now been cast down to the earth, while the Most High is still reviving and raising up his people that's in Israel. It says in verse 31, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. That's what we just read that this angel was going to do. I'm going to read it again. It says, and the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened. Day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. So there's going to be hell that's about to transpire, right? You can look at this on two fronts, because at certain times, sun, moon, stars can deal with people, right? It can align with people. It can align with knowledge and wisdom. Then it aligns also with the actual sun, moon, and stars, because we speak about blood moons. We speak about signs from heaven. We speak about things that happen during wartime where you can't see and it's blocked out, right? Because of the destruction and the smoke and the clouds, you can't see these things. They have been now stepped back from people being able to receive that light, right? The light that comes from them, like I said, can also assemble with knowledge or wisdom. The law is light, but their light or their information or their knowledge that they're going to get is not going to help them. It's not going to shine to be able to bring that understanding for them, right? So the Lord has kept them dark or kept them back. So now these perils is starting to happen all throughout the earth, right? And that's why it says, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, because the nations are dismayed at them. Full scale, the Lord is putting this vibration on the earth. Us, who Israel, who know the truth, we not budging. We're not bugging out. Oh, look how low the moon is. Oh my God, that shit is about to end. Oh, look, it's like it's right here. It's about to touch the earth. Oh my God, look at the color. Look at the, why is this? That's what the nations do. That's what even some of our people do, right? Say again?
Google News, right?
I didn't see it. What is it?
About the moon is, the new moon is close to the earth or something like that?
Right.
And why are they bugging out again?
Because they don't understand. Because things that you're ignorant on, that you can't comprehend, when it's like seeing the moon, when someone sees the moon is red, like when my mother sees it, oh, that's it. The world, the earth coming to an end. I've never seen it like that before, because you don't know what that represents, right? You don't understand what the turmoil between Russia and America or in the Middle East represents. You think that that's going to be the destruction of the earth. It's going to blow up. It's going to blow everybody up, and that's it. We're going to die. There's going to be no more life. But that's not what the scriptures say, right? So as we follow along with even what these angels are doing, it's of the Most High that they're doing it. The Lord said he's casting down blood and the tempest and hailstorms and fire and wormwood. And the Lord is doing that. The Lord is talking about, I'm going to darken the sun. I'm going to black out the moon. I'm going to bring down the stars from heaven. The Lord is saying all these things. Right. So why would you think that you were going to go fight against the Most High? Black void. It has to execute what he said it was going to do. And stop it. We just now have to understand it and prepare ourselves for what's to come. Kahan Nabiyah.
Here's the reason why. Sphere of the unknown. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 12. Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 12. I'll read it when you get it. Write it. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, in verse 12. It says, "For fear is nothing else but the betraying of the supports which reason offered." So like you said, you can't make sense of what's going on. Fear is going to enter in. It's only natural.
Yep.
What I'm saying, like back in the days, people like sell that stuff, and sell that, to say, oh, the end is gonna come there, and the day comes and it's like nothing changed.
Right.
And they get upset. Yeah.
And also another aspect of the Bible that people miss is Matthew 6:34. Sufficient unto the day is enough people thereof. If we always looking for big events to happen, Christ is on his way, you're making a mistake because some of the stuff already passed. And some of the stuff is occurring as we go along.
That's why Christ said, watch and pray. You got to watch because you'll miss it.
Right. Matthew 6:34. So
the brother just mentioned chapter, because I know everybody can't hear you. Matthew 6 chapter, the 34th verse. And the comment was that a lot of times people are looking for one magnificent big event to align with the coming of Christ. Whereas there are already events that have happened and are happening and that will continue to happen. But if you don't pay attention to them based on what the scriptures and the spirit says, then you'll miss it, and then you'll fall victim to following the world. So again, that was Matthew 6:34.
And one key thing to always keep in mind is to pay attention of every day and don't take for granted each day that passes and how you live each day. Because that's how things are happening.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of what you said. But, sometimes like you see a kid get choked when he's young. But I looked at Wade Simone, now two of the guys who was young, said, oh, look at Pope William Simone. And look at how she turned out. She's wicked as hell. So they get killed and they get died young. So it's a good guy young. I don't know what I know he's doing. He told me young because he turned out like he was little on the Cosby Show. The kids all over. And Mr. Cooper. Now who just knows he's trying to be a lesbian and against the people?
Right.
He's so cute now. She look at the girls and nuts.
That's because you grew up in the world. What the world do to you,
So I'm going to finish up back in Joel 2:31. I'll read it again. It says, the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. Right? So even before the Most High comes back, these things are going to happen. That's what it's saying. Before the great and terrible day of the Lord, the sun and the moon, the stars and such will be turned into turmoil. Verse 32, and it says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. But in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. So in Jerusalem is where the Most High is going to have salvation come from. That's what the scripture says, not from everywhere, but from Jerusalem, Mount Zion, his people. That's where he's looking for those to call upon his name to give them that salvation.
This is the same verse that was reading Acts 2.
Acts 2:21.
Read the next verse.
Yep. Read on down. Read the next verse.
And they read what happened. Acts what? Oh, Acts 2:21 and 22. It comes up after that. Verse 21 just says, whosoever. And the next verse tells you whosoever was talking. He meant Israel gave Israel.
Come. So now let's go back to Revelations 8:13 says, and I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpets of the three angels which are yet to sound. Right? So now here in this 13 verses, the setup, this is the beginning of major events that's going to happen in the earth. It says, and I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, woe, woe, woe Who knows what that means when it says, whoa, whoa, whoa? What is it signifying?
Destruction.
Destruction. I'm coming. Big Daddy Kane, I'm coming. Right? Destruction is true and accurate, but more specifically, what it's describing is the 3 world wars. Right? World War I, World War II, World War III that is still yet to come. That's what these woes signify, right? And it's heavy, as when you read it, you just hear, you know, when people say, woe is me, woe is me. You move forward, the Most High is going to have specific descriptions to let you know that this is dealing with major events. So from the time when John the Revelator saw this, it was now prophecy of this great battles, or these great battles that were going to happen in the earth, right? So when we get into the 9th chapter, the 9th chapter is going to now expound upon them, right? So the 9th chapter is going to deal with the other angels. It says 3 angels. I think we deal with 2 in the 9th chapter. I think we only deal with the 2, but there's one afterwards that we go through moving forward. But again, the Lord set the angels up, the 7 angels with their trumpets, for them to blow and then pour out the vials or the spirits that had to happen to set things in event, to set the courses of action in event, right? And then as it moved forward, now it was going to prepare us for the 3 major world wars that happened in the earth. And right, and that's what we're going to get to when we get to the 9th chapter.
That woe literally means war, or woe just means destruction?
It means destruction, but it's gonna pertain to worlds. I mean, to world wars. That's what we're about to get into when we get to the next chapter. Right.
I know it's too smart. I see that so-called President Trump. These things get redder and redder. We feel the people he got in his cabinet. I had that for this. I know most people do too. They face is red. I mean, bloody red, man. I'm like, man, how do you say you white? Anytime his face is red, I mean, he's red with red. Cherry red. And you're going to lie and tell. I feel, how do you feel what? And Shaquan allowed me to thing I go on his show 3 months back. He said, he had some of the students, he said, what color is this? And I said, white. He said, no, it's not. They said, oh, that's red. It's pink. And that's another lie, told them white. And I told you when I spoke to ABC, they put on orange makeup. Because you see face when they put on makeup, it's orange, it's like an orange brown color. You just check it out sometimes. You see their face, they have orange makeup around their redness, stuff that red face of theirs.
Nabia?
I'm not sure if he's the first to say it, but listening to Larry Wilmore, who started a podcast, he called them Orange Julius.
Orange.
Orange what?
Orange Julius.
The Greek place.
Orange Julius.
What, Apple Cup?
What was that? Oh, like we talking about season?
Come. They take orange brown makeup. But they're red. I mean, they're red. Either they red or they real pale. The ones who fell like from Switzerland and you can watch it like Siberia up there, who don't get no sun, but the ones over here, they red. You know, we beat down south like Alabama, Mississippi, they red, man.
Well, you're like lobsters.
God, exactly.
Con. So again, like I said, we want to reserve some of the breakdowns for the angels so we get to the 16th chapter to go more in depth. But the 9th chapter, because it does go in depth with the 2 angels in the 9th chapter, we will try to tap into that. So wanted to save some time to go into the 9th chapter so we can also have time for when we go out to camp both sides as well. All right, so we'll take a pause here. It's about 12:20. We'll come back at about 10 minutes to 1, and then we'll proceed further in the 9th chapter of the book of Revelations.